Welcome to another edition of Breath of Fresh Air. I am your host, Charles Taylor. Patrick Brackett is back with us, and he will be joining us in just a second. But first, Patrick, we have to start off a little bit from the usual, or away from the usual. Normally, this is our review show for college and the NFL, but we have to start with the Major League Baseball playoffs. In particular, the Chicago Cubs taking out the St. Louis Cardinals. What are your thoughts on that? Because neither one of us had that in our original predictions.
I was completely shocked for the fact that St. Louis, even though they try to grind out that last game, Chicago wasn't having it. They put the hurt on them. I was not. Look, I'm glad you got some space on that bandwagon because I'm full fledged. Chicago's going to the World Series, dog.
Are you?
Who's going to beat them? The Dodgers? The Mets?
You jumping on the bandwagon, Patrick? This is funny,
dude. I guess I'm I'm not gonna call myself a Cubby by no means. I ain't gay or anything like that, but nah, man. Dude, they play some excellent baseball, dude. And Joe Madden, he did his thing, man. Dog, clear off his space, man. Cubs going to the World Series, dog. And Back to the Future predicted this.
Yeah, Back in the Future did predict this. Yes, Cubs in 2015.
The World Series in 2015. Shout out to Corona.
Shut up.
That's my commercial for Corona.
the ESPN theme, huh?
Yeah. So Corona did it. Corona had a highlight. Did you not see it?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Well, but back to the Cubs.
They play fantastic ball, dude. You can't if you playing that good, man, you can't beat them.
And they were mashing the ball, Patrick. I mean, they hit 6 home runs in Game 3 in the 8-6 victory, and they hit 3. They hit 3 home runs in the closing game. Javier Baez, Anthony Rizzo, and this bomb by Schwartzwagger. I don't know if I got his name right.
It's close enough, man. I don't know how to say his name either. All I know is that fool's a rookie.
But he hit this home run like on the top of the scoreboard. This was a bomb.
Yeah.
This was a statement. This wasn't one of these, hey, we're skating by. The Cubs announced they are here. And Patrick, just like you were talking about in one of the earlier webcasts we did, they're here to stay. All that young talent in place, Joe Madden coaching them or being the manager, Theo Epstein there as the general manager, the man who, of course, was there when the Boston Red Sox ended their quote-unquote curse. The Cubs are here to stay, man. This isn't they're not going to be called the lovable losers for long, man.
No, not long. Because I can tell you right now, man, even when I look at, it's looking to me. I know I picked the Texas Rangers, but even when I said, I was like, it wouldn't surprise me any to see Toronto win that game. And by all means, I think whoever was going to win out of Texas and Toronto, there's your World Series from the American League. So, honestly, I don't see. Dude, it's Kansas City. Dude, I'm still not sold on this team, even though they bombshelled Houston tonight. I'm still not sold on them. I think Toronto's probably going to be heading to the World Series against the Chicago Cubs, man. And I'll tell you, if it goes Toronto, Chicago, we'll talk about this later. I don't know who I'm picking yet, but Chicago's going to the World Series, dog.
Yes, I think they will beat either the Mets or the Dodgers, no matter who it is.
Unless Bartolo Colon goes out there and sits on everybody and breaks their legs or something.
And that's gross. I think he's still at the concession stands right now. They ain't even have a game today, and I think he's still at the concession stands.
He's still got 30 hot dogs to get down before he starts his game.
Well, I think the Mets and the Dodgers. I don't know. I picked the Mets to win that series. I guess at this point, Game 5 being back in LA, I wouldn't be surprised if the Dodgers did win that, especially with Zach Greinke going. It just depends on if they can score. But I'm going to still say it's going to be the Mets until proven otherwise. And then, of course, I'll come back on here and say I'm wrong if I was wrong.
Look, dude, it hurts. Trust me. I wasn't wanting to say this about the Cubs until next year, because that's when I told you when I was sold on them. I'll be sold on them next year but who's gonna beat them?
Well,
Dodgers
man,
in 7, please. Dodgers gonna have to throw out. They'll have to throw out Greinke, and then they'll have to throw out the other one, and then they'll have to Greinke again, and then the other one, and then Greinke, and then the other one.
Kershaw, Clayton Kershaw.
That one.
Well, Patrick.
They ain't winning.
Well, Patrick, you brought up the Rangers and Blue Jays earlier, and I have to say this. I'm hurt. I mean, I guess I picked that one right because I had Toronto winning, and I think I did say in 5 games. But I'm hurt because I did want the Rangers to win. And they collapsed. The Rangers collapsed in this one. Look, Patrick, if you go up to Toronto and you win the first 2 games, you should put that series away when you're coming back home. They got beat twice. They got beat twice at home. Then they went up to Toronto and they had the lead. Cole Hamels pitched pretty well. He only gave up 2 earned runs. He was up 3-2 when he went out in the 7th inning.
And then Bautista did that bomb.
Yeah, but it was set up by those 3 errors. They had 3 errors. Now again,
after the 3 errors, I missed the home run because you know how I feel about routine. If you can't play, but if you can't make a routine play, I think you need to start paying back the organization.
Well, again, you give Toronto all the credit. Now, I mean, because
step to the plate,
you're down 2-0. You're down 2-0, and they could have easily just said, we're done. But no, they came back. So I'll give them credit for that. But in this 7th inning today, this is bad. I mean, the Rangers just collapsed, error after error after error, and they weren't those hard hit balls where it could go either way. It could be judged as a hit or an error, just depending on who's judging it. These were basic routine plays that were turning into errors. This it was really sad to watch.
Yeah. Well, speaking on that, and we'll just go ahead and move on because I don't see anybody beating Chicago at this point, and I probably do not see anybody beating Toronto at this point. But I do have to say something about Chase Utley, dude.
Dirty slide, huh?
Well, I mean, by all rights, dude, he didn't break any rules, but I mean, come on, dude. It's a matter of respect. Respect the damn players, dude. Respect the game. And don't slide in knees first. You know what I'm saying? Enter your slide and then try to take them out that way. I mean, I'd much rather you lift your leg up and take me out that way. Don't enter your slide when you're even with the bag with your knees. He's a jackass.
It just seemed like it was just out of the way. It was out of the way, man. I understand you're trying to break up a double play, but I mean, he wasn't even close to the base.
His hand was still in the baseline. So I mean, he was considered still in the baseline. But yeah, he did go out of it. He went out of his way.
But he didn't touch the base. I mean, to me, man, it seemed like he went, like you just said, he went out of the way. It just seemed like it was just
he entered the slide beside the base.
Right. It didn't seem like it was necessary.
But the rules state as long as you have a body part in the baseline, it's considered legal. All right, cool. All right, cool. But at some point, you need to have respect for the game. Dude, this is Chase Utley. I mean, how many times have we seen this crap from him?
It's been a while. It's been a lot. It's been pretty frequent.
Yeah, it's like 3 times a year, dude. You see this. Even when the games don't even mean nothing. This ass is still sliding into people with his knees and his elbows and coming in. I mean, what? Dude, why? Why? Respect the game, dude. He has no respect for the game. MLB, this is a rule MLB needs to change. I mean, and it's a small change. Just do something like you have to enter your slide before you take anybody out. I mean, we're protecting the catcher. We need to protect the second baseman. And this is coming from a guy that does not like the general vicinity rule. I hate it. Probably one of the dumbest rules you ever have in baseball. But dude, I played a lot of second base, man, and it hurts. I mean, but dude, come in with your knees like that. This is uncalled for. Respect the game. Chase Utley's a jackass. He needs to respect the game. He needs to be fined for that. I'd fine his ass like $250,000 per knee.
Well, I guess they did suspend him, but since he appealed, I guess he's not technically suspended. So who knows when all that is going to happen? But
well, he's not going to get suspended, dude. He didn't break any rules. This is, MLB needs to change that rule.
Yeah, I probably couldn't agree with you more on that one, man. I thought it was a pretty garbage play myself. But well, Patrick, look, let's move on a little bit to the football action. So before we get on our rants, what was your takeaways from college this past weekend?
Well, this was the weekend where Georgia played Tennessee, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, first of all,
like you forgot.
Yeah, I just want to make
sure. You remember. Well, you're the biggest Georgia fan I know, even though you kind of went ESPN on us to saying they're garbage after you was giving them props.
It's like this, man. There's a lot of stuff that comes out of Georgia with Mark Richt and him losing games. Should he be in the hot seat? All right, look. I'm just gonna start out. Who's going to be the coach for Georgia if they fire Mark Richt?
And you know what, Patrick?
I will burn every jersey I have if they hire that SOB.
And before you go on with that, I don't think that's thought about enough. Everybody wants to say fire a coach, get rid of a quarterback, whatever the case. Who are replacing these people? I mean, these coaches don't grow on trees, and they'll just come out of the plants. I mean, this isn't corn that you go ahead and you shuck out of the garden.
You got to replace these coaches, and Georgia there's nobody to replace Georgia. Nobody to replace Mark Richt. My fault. But look, man, Mark Richt has done a lot for Georgia, dude. I mean, you look at what Georgia has. They don't even have an indoor facility that's opening up until next year. Every other team in college has an indoor facility. Mark Richt has been fighting for this for 4 years. All right? So Georgia's getting their indoor facility. You would assume that this team already has that, but they don't. So you see what Mark Richt is fighting for on a day-to-day basis for Georgia. And, who are you going to replace with? No. Mark Richt is going to be at Georgia for a long time, man. And they need to stop it. They need to stop it because it's not going to happen. He's going to be there for a while.
Yeah, well, while you ran on Georgia, look, man, I actually have something to be happy about. My Longhorns won that Red River shootout. I'm so happy.
Hey, you called that too. You called that.
Man, I said we were going to show up. And I'm so glad we showed up and won that game. You know what, Patrick? I almost went to a bar and started drinking. And I'm not a drinker. But off that game,
hey, man.
I almost did. I almost went to the store also and got me a 6-pack. I almost did it.
I almost did it too when Georgia lost.
Well, your reasons are a lot different from mine. You was going to drink some opposite. I was happy.
Georgia got their butts kicked in that second half. Anyway, past that, man. Another game that I wanted to, and we didn't get to talk about because of the I wasn't here on the last one, but I wanted you to talk about the what games were they?
Michigan and Northwestern. See, I remember.
I told you, dude. Michigan was going to win that game, and they came in and they smashed Northwestern.
Did you think they were going to win 38-0 though, Patrick?
Oh, no, by no means. I mean, I thought Northwestern would at least score 3 points. No, Michigan stomped them in the ground, and Michigan's coming. And I'm going to tell you right now, Ohio State better be looking out.
What put you on the spot? real quick, man. Do you think Michigan is the best team in the Big Ten? They played Michigan State this week, and they're coming to Ann Arbor. Do you think Michigan right now is the best team in the Big Ten? Because I'm gonna tell you, I think they might be.
I'm thinking they might be too. I mean, this week is going to really do the tell since they're playing Michigan State.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be whoever comes out of that game right there. There's your best team in the Big Ten. Period. Ohio State's got to play both of these, and I can tell you right now, Ohio State's probably going to carry 2, possibly 3 losses, dude. And I have to say this, man. I have to say this because if I don't, everybody's going to be like, oh, well, you didn't say that. Well, guess what? MFers, I did. Illinois might get them. Mark it. Illinois might get Ohio State this year. They're playing in Illinois, 1, and 2, it's one of those gotcha games. They got Michigan State the next week after that. They might be looking past Illinois.
I like it. MFers. I love it.
Yes. Try to keep it as PG-19 as possible.
DJ, all right. Yeah, I got you. As close as possible. Yeah. I real quick, Patrick.
Give me a spot on Showtime, and that's the F word all day long.
Though. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, there ain't no censor button for that. But man, real quick, man. Before you move on to the NFL, I wanted to point out a couple of things. One, California and Utah. So Utah won that game 30-24. This quarterback, Jared Goff, who got all this hype. He's hyped up. He's one of the top pro prospects coming up. 5 interceptions in that game. 5. All I want to say is pump the brakes on all this hype. California, but Texas should have beat them. We should have beat them. And so I thought Utah was actually going to beat them worse than they did. I said they were going to hang half 100 on them.
This was the game I was expecting 38-0.
See,
I ain't gonna lie to you. This is the game I expect 38-0. Not that Michigan game, but this one. And California, man, I don't know what the hell they do, but they score somehow. They ain't got no talent on that team, and they still score. I don't know how they do it,
Patrick. But it's just like any other Pac-12 team they talk about with this high-powered offense. I mean, how many teams in the Pac-12 are hyped because of their offense? UCLA, USC, your boys.
Don't you dare.
California. And I mean, all these teams are supposed to have these ridiculous golden boy quarterbacks. And they really don't end up amounting. I think you may have a few that do make it to the NFL and actually do well. Aaron Rodgers is one of them because he went to California. But, I mean, outside of him, Andrew Luck, of course, there in Stanford. But Stanford, even in these days, they're more of a physical running team. They're not the ones who's going to try to air it out all the time. But these other ones, I just think they're just so overhyped. And just like I thought with Jared Goff, I figured he was going to throw some interceptions. Not 5, but I figured he would throw a few.
2. But no, he going to throw 5.
5. Well, Patrick, let's move on with the NFL, man. What was your takeaways from there?
Dude, there was a lot of overtime games for one. Dude, Atlanta shouldn't have won that game. Should have not won that game against Washington. But, man, I'm so glad they pulled it out. That was a good game. I mean, I watched pretty much the entire game. And then somebody knocked on my door, and I had to answer it. And I missed the freaking interception in overtime that won the game. I was like,
the chances.
Damn it. But I went back and watched the review, but I didn't get to celebrate with my team, and that kind of irritated me. So, but, when I look at the rest of the games, man, I mean, there was a lot of overtime games. And I'm going to have to tell you, man, kickers. My God. You get paid to kick the dang ball through two bars. Kick the damn ball through 2 bars. It's not that hard. It's not complicated. You think that, dude, it's not like you got to go and get a bachelor's degree for this crap. You know what I'm saying? But here they are struggling every year, every freaking week. It's going down. I mean, the first week we were looking at the NFL, man, they were kicking like 98% of their extra points. We're down to week 5, and they're down to 72%. What in the hell is going on with an extra 10, 15 yards on a field goal? Explain to me.
I mean, kicking's garbage across the board, man. Because college kickers, oh my goodness, I'm getting started on the college kickers. But the NFL kickers, I guess, I mean, they moved it back to where it's now pretty much a 33-yard field goal.
What's that, 11 yards back?
Huh?
Was that 11 yards back? It was 22, right? Now it's 33.
Yeah, I think it normally is around a 20-yard field goal. I think they were kicking from, or they hiked the ball from the 2-yard line. Mm-hmm. So now it's, I guess, back to
10, so 22, about 22-yard field goal.
Yeah. So now it's a 33-yard field goal, pretty much the equivalent. And I understand. I mean, that makes a little bit of difference, but it just seems like these kicks aren't even close, man. I mean,
they are shaking the crap out of them, But Charles, you know what we say? That's the life of a kicker, man. You're either banging out the prom queen, or you got the fat ugly man under the bleachers.
Yeah. There's no gray area.
No gray area. And they got the whole football team dragging that fat ugly man under the bleachers for the kicker now.
I mean, it's getting to the point where, I mean, the coach is pointing in the stands, like the dude like up in the upper level. Hey, hey,
you with that corona.
Yeah. Yeah, who me? Yeah, you.
I do have to put a disclaimer out right now. Corona is not or will be paying me for that. It is just something that I am doing for entertainment purposes only. Disclaimer.
I love it.
But dude, I mean, what I don't get it, man. You get paid millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands to $1 million, and you only got 5 people, literally 5, that is even remotely consistent. I mean, you got Adam Vinatieri, you got Mason Crosby, you're looking at Matt Bryant, Dan
Bailey for the Dallas Cowboys is consistent if the offense can get into position.
Exactly. And I thought it was funny because I was looking at Matt Bryant. He missed 2 field goals over the weekend, and both of them were like 29 and 33. He missed both of those, but he knocked down.
He hit the upright with them though.
Yeah, he hit the upright with both of them. But then he goes back 54 yards on both of his 2 attempts, and he makes, and he put right down the middle. Pow! I was like, Matt, stop making me worry about this damn game, man. Go ahead and put it away, dude. You knock this out for me, man. Now I'm sitting here over here scratching my butt and holding down. I'm like, oh God, man, I'm scratching like a crack fiend. I'm like, God, Atlanta killing me, man.
But so nervous, man. And then coming off that Georgia loss, I know you were just.
I needed a win, dude. I needed it. If I didn't get the win, I was going to smoke crack. No, man. I was like, I'm going to get my fix, man. I need to win something.
That's bad. Just get like an angry twitch.
Yeah.
Well, Patrick, before we get out, before we sign off of here, man, I have to go on a little rant about the tackling. So your rant was kicking, my rant is tackling. What is going on? Nobody wraps up anymore. Nobody brings their arms. They just think, look, man, they got these 240-pound running backs, and some 180-pound dude's just gonna run up there thinking he's just gonna smack him down with the shoulder. And then he gets trucked.
Did you see the play that with Clay Matthews was trying to run in and get the tackle on the running or on the quarterback?
Yeah, when Todd Gurley picked him up
and threw him up.
Yeah, and that's Clay Matthews, dude. That's one of the people who do wrap up, but
dude, everybody's doing it, man. I haven't seen a good solid wrap tackle in 3 weeks.
It's been a while.
In 3 weeks. I mean, I'm like, man, y'all gonna have to hug somebody. Get in there. Slap some ass. I mean, this is football. Slap ass.
It's
You know
just
what I'm saying? Get in there and slap some ass.
but I mean, it's like the fundamentals have gone away, Patrick. I mean, you remember when we were playing football, like whether it was in high school or for whatever semi-pro league, for whatever it was. I mean, there's fundamentals there. You know, you bring your legs, you bring your arms, and you wrap up and you finish the tackle. It's like it's not being taught anymore. You have all these rules and regulations from the NFL with all these with the lack of padded practices. So everything's in shirt and shorts. It's
Yeah.
just it's just one of those kinder, gentler things. The NFL, I mean, it's glorified flag football anyway. So
It's bad when you know Ronda Rousey can go out there and whip every one of them. And she would beat them faster than she beat that other girl. 34 seconds? She beat them faster than that. She's like, Dallas Cowboys? You know what, Stan? I'll give you 35 seconds. But New Orleans, 20. I give him 20. 20 seconds. Drew Brees would be like, I'm going to throw this. Ronda Rousey like, bull crap. You ain't throwing crap. Black.
Yeah. Yeah, the tackling is
It's
it
horrendous throughout the entire league, man. I would like
through
look.
football, man.
Yeah,
Football.
the only team now I do have to say this: the only team that really shows that they're doing it is Arizona. Arizona is they're wrapping up, and if they're not wrapping up, I mean, you got the first guy that hits the guy, wraps up, and he starts yanking at the ball. Then you got the other two. Then you got two or three other people coming in with linebackers, maybe even possibly a corner or whatever, and they coming in and they're laying some shoulder to the chest. You know what I'm saying? Um, and then the other team that's doing a lot of wrapping up would probably be the Denver Broncos. That's
Yeah, Denver's pretty
about it.
it's pretty sad what has happened to the tackling, man. But well, Patrick, I guess we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna wrap this one up. Speaking of wrapping up, wrap up this show.
Oh yeah, speaking of wrapping up, man, hey, how about that porn star that's not a porn star anymore? After 24 years, she's going to be working at Fox Sports One. What's her name?
Lisa Ann.
Lisa Ann. Yeah. How about
Yeah,
that?
she's fantasy football. Yeah. Fantasy.
Nothing
It
much to
definitely.
say about that, is
I mean, it definitely puts the fantasy in football, I guess, if they got a porn star sitting here doing
well, it
it.
depends on what you're looking at. You might be
Sorry,
putting the football into fantasy at that point. It just kind of depends.
former porn star. My bad. Sorry, she's doing something else. Who knows? But
Hey, 24-year career. She must have been really successful.
yes, very much so. So yeah, very successful. On that note,
Well, we don't want to talk about it anymore. Come on.
no, at least not for this one, man.
We'll save it for later.
Visit it. I'm sure we will. But until next time, that concludes this edition of Breath of Fresh Air. Again, check us out, like the show, post it, do whatever. Just make sure you let everybody know about it. And of course, we are still waiting for those mean tweets. So until next time.
Speaking of which, before we cut off, hey man, we got the Twitter accounts up. You got to look us up. I'm at the freshestness. Bring them mean tweets on because I'm ready. So again, at the freshestness.
And I'm at Breath of Fresh A6. I couldn't put air because it
was already taken.
Long. So
I didn't get my Twitter handle either.
Yeah.
I wanted to be at aliciousness.
At aliciousness.
But I didn't get that either.
You're too much.
At the freshness. Come and follow me. You'll be happy you did.
On that note. Until next time, we will talk to you later on in the week. And take care.
Stay classy, internet.